Yo guys, it is me Fiddly. Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Now guys, in this video today, we're going to be reacting to some more scary slash horror animations. I know that I haven't done this in a while, so I thought how about I do it again. And in this video, we will be reacting to 4 Alone at Night horror stories. So if you guys are new, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Let's hop straight into this and let's go. Alright.
Back in the day, I used to work for the National Trust up in Scotland. It was a really lonely job, with a lot of it spent either driving long distances or walking around the highlands in dire weather conditions. At
That
work,
would
I
be
used to
bad,
drive
yeah.
around this big 4x4, but off duty, I had to use my own car, which was absolutely crap.
What
So
was
this
it?
one Saturday, I planned to drive back down to
What was the
England for my
car?
mom's
What was the car's
birthday.
name?
Me and my boyfriend had this whole big thing planned for her. I'd drive down in the morning, help get set up, then I'd go and pick Mom up for the big surprise. I was
Okay.
massively excited about it, and massively confident that my mum would be over the moon with it. What I wasn't
Probably
confident
would.
about was the ability of my
Oh,
poor little wee
Nissan.
son Micra to
Like
get
to
me
be
there
fair,
without getting in
Nissan
trouble.
cars are
I was driving through
bad.
the Highlands,
Like
absolute arse end of nowhere in the
they
hollow,
just
and
are,
the
and
engine started
it's
making
it's
some
true.
really unhealthy noises. I pulled over to the side of the road, but I couldn't work out what was wrong. I thought I'd be able to get it to a garage and risk being a little bit late. But when I
Yeah,
got
risk it.
back in my car and tried starting it up again, nothing. The engine was
Ah,
trying to turn over, just never coming to life.
if that happened at
And no matter
night,
how hard
dude,
I tried or
I am
what
not
little
getting out the
tricks I
car. I'm
tried to
locking all of the
pull,
doors
I just couldn't get the car to start.
and just hiding, and then
These
wait till the
days,
morning.
I'd have
Once the
just
morning
pulled up
comes,
an app and had it
easy,
bloke out for
then
repairs or
go
a tow
walk
within an
and
hour or
abandon it.
so. But back then, in the age of flip phones and spotty mobile reception, breaking down in the middle of nowhere could be a huge pain in the bottom.
Exactly, because then
I tried
where
the
you meant to
engine a
go?
few more times while mentally preparing myself to actually get out and walk. This was in the middle of November, by the way, so it was absolutely freezing as it was, but
Oh
then the
yeah,
Highland Gales
in the
meant the
winter
idea
as
of walking
well.
anywhere was grim beyond
That'd be such a
belief.
bum.
I fought it for as long as I could, but in the end, I
Wait, do
fastened
you know
up
what I
my
just
coat,
realised?
whacked on my hat, and
If she had like siblings, just phone her siblings or phone her dad or something like that, or phone her boyfriend, and then ask for a lift. But if there's no signal, then you're gonna obviously have to walk. What else are you meant to do? Stay in your car for the rest of your life now. You're obviously gonna have to walk. But yeah, if there was signal, call like a friend or something like that. But yeah,
gloves and got out of my car to face the cold. The plan was to walk to the nearest anything, which hopefully had a phone or someone capable of engine repairs, but then no sooner
yeah,
had I started
exactly.
walking, but a car suddenly appeared in the distance.
Come on,
Each
he's
side of
gonna
the
save
road was
it.
lined with trees, and the road kind of snaked off in the distance, so the car's appearance took me by surprise at first. I
Look his
actually said a
mustache. It's like a
prayer to
fine as
myself
hell.
that whoever it was would pull over for me, and when they did, I thought those prayers had been answered. But at the risk of sounding a bit melodramatic, I don't think it was God that answered my prayers that day,
Is it just me, or is it
rather
in like
than
these
his
animations,
opposite number
their
on his
eyes are just
days.
sort of like
Anyways,
so
the car pulls over, and
like
this quite friendly looking middle
tired
aged
in a
man
way?
rolls down
It's
the
like
window and
it's like
asks if I'm
their
alright.
eyelids.
I
They
explain the
look so.
situation, tell him where my car is, and
How do I describe it? Like the eyelids look so like as if they're tired or like moody. I, I don't know. It just does. I'm probably going crazy, but in like all of these like animations, it looks as if they're like tired or something like that. But yeah,
he
that's what
says
I've
that
like
depending on how
realized.
bad the damage is, he might be able to get his mate to come and fix it on the cheap. I just about danced a little jig that I was so happy. Then he invites me into his
Dancing a little
car and
jig.
gives me a lift back to mine.
I know what's gonna happen. Because I've seen so many horror animations. I know what's gonna happen. I will predict this for you now. Basically, she'll get in the car, right? And then it turns out he's not actually a mechanic. Just a way to lure her, or I don't know, or get her in the car. Then after that, they'll kidnap her or something like that. Take her to like a forest or something like that, and then she'll escape somehow. And then coincidentally, there'll be a car passing as she's up. She'll give like the thumbs up, and then she'll hop in the car, and then she'll go. But then she'll explain what happened to her parents. Because I've seen these horror stories so many times, I'm just that I know what's gonna happen. So just don't go in the car. If someone Life advice, if someone invites you in the car, say no, because no means no.
We made a bit of small talk after I noticed his English accent, and we both swapped stories explaining why we were both up in Scotland.
Oh my
After we pulled
advert, my bad.
After we pulled up behind my car, he pulled out his mobile and started texting
Right,
someone,
well, good.
apparently the person who was going to come fix my
Okay,
car. When I asked him, he explained that up in the Highlands, it was much better to send texts with that little signal you could muster.
nice.
It was a little slower in terms of response time and all, but the message actually went through loud and clear instead of garbled and spotty.
Oh, fair play.
He told me not to worry, though, as his mechanic friend worked Saturdays and was probably close to a phone. Those of you in your 20s might not remember the ritual of holding your plastic brick of a phone high above your head to try and force a text message through, but after a minute or so
To
of
get
that,
like signal,
my
but no,
Highland
why is there no
Samaritan
signal?
assured me
There's no
that the
signal.
text had both been received and read.
That's good.
Everything was looking hunky dory. All I had to do was to be patient and hope for the best. Within a few minutes, the kind stranger's phone had buzzed, and he reported that his mate was on the way,
That's good
although he
then.
wouldn't be arriving for another 20 minutes or so.
20,
20
20
minutes I could deal
minutes.
with, and
No way.
if the guy could get me to my mom's surprise party on time, the one I'd spent a month planning, I was willing to give him everything I had in my wallet.
Man, fair play.
But then, as I sat waiting with the bloke, still making the same
Your
small
finger
talk,
was massive.
I noticed that he changed some minor detail in his story. I won't bore you with the ins and out of it, but he basically told me his business was in one place, and then about 10 to 15 minutes later, he told me it was based somewhere else. I didn't
That's a little
jump
bit
at the sudden
fishy.
change
I'll
of
be honest with
detail
you.
or anything. I mean, a business can have more than one branch, can it? And
Why is
people misspeak
why
all
is
the
she sort of
time,
like
so I'm not exactly going to.
why is she sort of like how would you say it? Like sticking up for him? Like like he'll probably kidnap you in like 2 minutes. Why are you trying to be like, well, he probably had different businesses around. He didn't. He's just lying about his story. That just with me, since I am a very paranoid person, if I hit that, then I would just leave a walk instead. Cause what? Because he's definitely gonna kidnap you now. I know it. Watch it. He will.
All Sherlock Holmes on a bloke who's supposedly doing me a favor, am I? That was the first red flag, you might say.
Yeah.
One I didn't really acknowledge until after the event itself. It was only the second that actually caught my attention. After a brief lull in the conversation, the man asked if anyone was expecting me. He used that exact same phrase, too. Expecting you. And I must have given him a funny look or something because he clarified with, have you got any plans later? I started telling him about my mom's party, how I'd been planning it for ages, how my whole
Okay.
family expected me to be there.
Well, you're
And
not
instead
gonna
of
have
showing
it.
any interest or
Yippee.
enthusiasm whatsoever, he sort of nodded and started staring off into the
Okay.
distance like he was thinking
Do
about
I really want to
something.
kidnap her?
That wasn't what
I'll
got
let her
me,
go.
though. It was how he'd phrased the question. Was anyone expecting me? And then considering he was apparently just bringing his mate to fix my car, and I hadn't heard what they'd said to each other. It all added up to a really bad feeling in the pit of my stomach.
Yeah, exactly.
Call it a
Probably.
woman's intuition, but I knew I had to do something, anything to try to get ahead of what I feared the most.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
asked the guy how long his mechanic friend is going to be, and after his long and contemplative state, he snapped right back
It'll
into
take
his
like
friendly. He checked his phone and
half an hour.
then told me, it seems like it's only going to be a few more minutes.
Um,
So I put my little
it's
plan
gonna
into
be a
action.
few more minutes. Do you wanna
I told the bloke that I
wait?
had to grab a few
Please.
things from my car just in case it needed a tow or I had to go anywhere, then slipped out of his car and walked towards my own. Once I was there, I put on a show of looking for things, and when what I was doing in actual fact was delaying time until his mechanic friend arrived. If it was some bloke in overalls driving his work van, then yeah, I probably had nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
But anything else, I'd put phase 2 of my plan into action. I
Exactly.
kept
Yeah.
at it for a few minutes, fishing around for absolutely nothing while keeping my eyes glued to the road behind us.
We're behind.
Then lo and behold,
Yeah.
a big white
Okay. Oh no. This, I swear down.
White van comes from
These adverts now, they're gonna kill me. They are, I swear.
around the bend a few hundred yards behind us, then starts pulling in behind the stranger's
Okay.
car. The van was all white, no marking on it at all, and it looked brand new. On top of that, there were two people sitting in the cab, not just one as I'd been expecting. Like I
Yeah,
said,
cause,
if everyone's
cause
intentions were good, then
the
me.
guy said his friend, not his friends. You know, it's a little bit suspicious. I would rent. No, I'm joking. It's not that suspicious. You know, it just isn't. Well, for me it isn't, but yeah, I don't know.
Acting a bit paranoid wasn't going to do anyone any harm. The
Look at him.
mechanic and his friend might think that I was a bit weird, but weird I can live with. What I couldn't live with was the feeling I was walking into some kind of trap.
You are.
The moment the van started to pull in behind the stranger's car, I hurried back to him and told him something like, I'm just gonna nip for a wee. I'll be back in a few.
No,
At
don't
that,
go.
I scurried off into the trees at the side of the road and kept myself crouched and out of sight as if I was actually having a wee. But in actual fact, I'm just watching the seemingly kind stranger and his friends to make sure that they didn't have anything
Can you
planned.
imagine? I got this guy
I
and
stayed
it's
where
all
I
good.
was, telling myself I wouldn't move until I got a good look at the two blokes who'd
I got
just
this
pulled up in
gun.
the van.
Should we use it?
But the minutes ticked by and no one moved. Eventually, I heard the stranger's voice calling me from the side of the road. He sounded friendly at first, and just let me know that the blokes were working on my car. Only thing was, I could see a bit of my car, and there was no one standing near it.
Liar.
I still felt like I was going
Liar.
half mad at this point, that I'd gotten myself into a tizzy and had completely overreacted. Then, right as I told myself that I was gonna feel very silly after this if the guys really were there just to fix my car, the stranger's tone of voice changed dramatically. That alone sent a chill through me, but what truly terrified me was when he used my name.
Come on,
At no point in
Melissa.
conversation had we ever swapped names or introduced ourselves formally.
How the fuck?
I know that sounds a bit mental, since I was sitting with the bloke for the better part of a half hour, but my mind was on other things, and evidently his was too, because he
How
never
does he not
bothered to
see it?
introduce himself either.
Her
I thought
head's
there's always
poking
a
out like
chance that I
that,
let it
like
slip
that
during our
much.
chat and just not remembered it, but I certainly didn't know his name, which made it all the more frightening when he told me to show
Show
myself.
yourself. I just want to see
He made it
you.
clear that if I didn't, it wouldn't be good for me, and that I might actually get to my mum's party on time if I just did as he told me.
No.
Squatting down among the clump of trees, trying to stay out of sight of those not so benevolent
Look at that. They look
strangers,
so
made
mean.
me for the scariest few moments of my entire life. I didn't think it was possible to get any more frightened than that, but I was wrong.
Look at them.
Suddenly, I heard an engine start up, but I knew from how healthy it sounded that it wasn't mine. The next thing, I see the stranger's car drive off, and that's the first stranger who picked me up, not the two strangers in the van. I thought that might mean that the van was about to drive off too, so I poked my head out from behind the trees a wee bit to get a better look. That's when I see a man, wearing a balaclava,
Oh my god.
walking through the trees with his head on a swivel like he's searching for me. Remember what I said about being wrong regarding how scared I could be? I can actually remember most of the stuff that happened, but after seeing that guy in his mask, quite obviously searching for
Oh
yours
my.
truly, my memory actually gets a bit spotty. I know I just ran, further and faster and harder than I ever ran in my life. I remember being sick a bit when I couldn't run any further, and I remember many cars passing me before a driver finally bothered to stop to see if I was actually okay.
I mean, that's good.
I also remember being frightened out of my wits that the first stranger or the guys in the van would come across me, but thankfully that didn't happen. Instead, I was driven to a police station where I gave a statement.
Okay, that's good.
After that
That's
came
good.
a
That's
trip
good.
to a mechanic's, which resulted in me finding out my car wouldn't be roadworthy for at least 24 hours. After that, I got a room and a bed and breakfast, got myself a late lunch, and cried on the phone to my mom up in my room.
Shit.
I actually think it was the single worst day of my life. I let my mum down, had to dip into my savings to pay for engine repairs, and it was just a complete nightmare of a day.
Yeah, I can tell. It
And to
probably
top
would
it
be.
all off, I almost got kidnapped or murdered as well.
Yeah.
I just didn't think things like that happened in real life, or if they
Well, it
did,
does.
I certainly didn't think it had ever happened to me. I was able to give a really detailed description of the first guy along with what car he was driving, but as for the other two men, I didn't have much to say aside from what their van looked like.
True.
The police promised that they'd do all they could, and they even got the first guy in for questioning. But given that he hadn't actually broken any laws, they were unable to charge him with anything.
Oh, that's
The police
sad.
had asked him about the masked men in the white van, but he just claimed he didn't know what they were talking about. According to him, he tried to do a favor to a young woman whose car had broken down, and the next thing, she's off into the woods in a blind panic. They let him go, but I know he was in.
I just found there's two adverts. Yeah, I'm not even lying with you. Two adverts that are the exact same. I'm not even lying with you. Alright, 3, 2, 1.
was involved in it, and I know he only let me see his face because he thought I was a done deal. But if that's the case, how many other women and girls have his tactics worked on? And that's the
Exactly
thought
that.
I find
That's the
myself
scary
living
bit.
with
That's like
after
the
all these
scariest
years.
bit.
I can be thankful and grateful and whatever else I can be that I didn't end up a victim that day. But I can't be the only
Exactly.
one. There have to be more. Girls who
Exactly.
didn't get away. And it haunts me to wonder where they are now.
I know, yeah, exactly. Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and I know that I said that I would be reacting to 4, but that was just the title, and I'm really busy. But yeah, anyways, if you guys did enjoy, please make sure to drop a like, subscribe. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.